What's up guys, Eric with Ferris Engineering, and today we're going to be doing a hood louver install on our M4. So these are some beautiful 2x2 carbon fiber hood vents. We spent a ton of time developing these to make sure that they A, function, and B, look aesthetically pleasing on this odd shaped hood. We also made sure that it kind of fits in this smaller area on the hood louver, or on the hood itself, so that we cut out a little bit less of this structure. So we're gonna see hopefully the benefits there as we do the install itself. As far as what's included in the kit, we're gonna get 2 hood louvers. We're gonna get some pieces of double-sided tape to install those hood louvers on your hood. And then we have a large paper template to place this on the hood and allow us to cut these correctly the first time. All right, so as far as tools required, we have isopropyl alcohol, 50-50 mixed with water, microfiber towel, that's all for the double-sided tape. We have some scissors for the template, tape measure to measure some things if you want to. I would recommend measuring some things to make sure they're even left to right. We have a, I don't know what this is called, body saw, jigsaw. It's definitely not a sawzall. I use this to go around corners. It makes going around corners a lot easier than the cutoff wheel, which is cutoff wheel, and then I have a deburr wheel on our grinder. I have a manual deburr tool. You can use this or this to deburr the car, Sharpie to mark those bolts on the hood, and then a 13mm swivel on an impact to remove the hood from the vehicle. All right, so step one, we are marking the holes, well, the large washer, so that we can hopefully put the hood back on in the exact same location because everything lines up right now. Cool. All right, so we've got the paper template on the hood, and I know roughly where the hood louver is gonna go. I saw our friends over at TEMC, Toyota Engineering, I think Manufacturing Center? I don't know. Andrew, I saw Andrew do this on his Supra. Thought it was a really cool idea, so I'm gonna do it for this. And basically, instead of using the paper template to cut out, you're gonna use the paper template to mark where the hood louver goes, and then the tape stays on the hood, and as you cut and potentially nick and hurt the template, it's still there on the hood to see where you're supposed to cut. So seems like a good idea. I appreciate you, Andrew, so I'm gonna do it. All right, so we have this side cut out. I'm gonna cut out after I deburr this side really quickly. I'm gonna cut out this side. As far as cutting it out, you can go through both pieces of metal about 3/4 of the way back. So back here, I would try and avoid going through. I would avoid going through the bottom piece on this back quarter. Otherwise, go through all you want. As I do this side, I will discuss how I did the structural metal from the top side at least, and it worked out pretty well, at least on ours. So let's get to it. All right, so like I said, we figured out some stuff on this side. We're applying it on this side. So I've now shown you where I need to cut out on this side. And if you look really closely, it's like this raised ridge on this front and side. And then we kind of follow this back cut. I don't know, that's probably about 3 inches. But basically we just kind of come across here and we're gonna cut out all of this black part. You can do that from the top or the bottom. I'm choosing the top so that I don't have to clean off the top and risk scratches. So I'm gonna cut that really quick, and then we're gonna remove everything, clean everything, and we'll be able to install it. Again, I did my best not to break through on this side, like this, because that structure is right there. So like cut very shallow in this location. So we now have to apply the double-sided tape to the hood louver, which is what I recommend. I would not do it on the hood, but we're gonna apply the double-sided tape to the hood louver first. I've got a paper towel so that the carbon with the nice clear coat isn't on the table. We're cleaning it with an isopropyl alcohol water mix per 3M's recommendation, which is what this tape is. See, 3M, VHB. And I'm not sure if we've already ordered production of this tape or not. Probably have. So you might receive it as a single piece. Now my recommendation will be to cut it in half. And that's because installing this and making sure it actually goes on and doesn't have any wrinkles is very unlikely. So I'm going to cut this in half really quickly. And then I'm going to install it in halves. And as we make a revision in the future, you'll probably receive it as 2 halves. But initially we're going to go like this. So we're going to get it really close to where it's supposed to go. And I'll show you how I do it. So we're going to grab this guy. Put it roughly where it's going to go. Stick this guy down. Hold where it goes. Just keep doing that throughout the entire process, trying to lay the tape as nice as you can, roughly in the center of that flange. We don't want it too close to the edge or too close to the inboard part, so just somewhere in the middle. All right, so this is still loose. I have the louvers loose, and I'm going to use the blue painter's tape to put it exactly where I want it, because honestly it's really hard to see they move a little bit. It's really hard to see where I want it, and I'm trying to use these as guides to make the install a little bit better. And that's because when I went to cut this side, I cut it a little bit inboard, so I had to cut it a little bit bigger. So now it's got some wiggle room, which is fine. The flange covers it, that's not a big deal. But because I have that wiggle room, I want to make sure it looks right. So I've actually measured, and I will remeasure. But I just want to use the blue painter's tape as like a template to install this a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, because fingers crossed we go straight to the final resting place and that double-sided tape never comes back off again. All right, so we have ears of the red tape. So that allows us to place it down gently, kind of move it around so that it gets to where we had the painter's tape. Gotta get all those painter tapes lined up. Right there, looks pretty good. Now we're gonna push down slightly, and we're gonna gently, because sometimes here it gets hasty, we're gonna go right around the part, like so. And then, for us, I'm gonna go a step further, and I'm gonna go grab some books and actually use some weights to press on the back and the top. And I'll leave those weights on for 3 days because that's what 3M recommends. So I'm not driving the car for 3 days, which is not a problem.